everyone, welcome to QuintEdge. This is CA FRM Jan. Over past many years, we have trained thousands of candidates, and one question that keeps coming back to us again and again is, Sir, I'm keenly interested into finance, but I don't know which course to go for. Should I go for CFA or should I go for FRM? Which course will help me to gain global exposure? Which course is easier to do? Which course is quicker to do? Which course will give me higher salaries? And many more questions like that. So what I have done is I have compiled almost 60-70 questions and created this video to answer all those questions. So I'm pretty sure if you watch this video till end, all your queries related to CFA versus FRM will be answered. So let's start. Okay. So first of all, let me give you the structure for this video as usual. Firstly, I am going to discuss about FRM and CFA in general. This is going to be a very brief introduction. This is just to bring everyone who is watching this video on the similar lines, because there might be some candidates who recently discovered these courses and may be willing to research more, but they don't know much about these courses. They might have heard some bits and pieces about CFA and FRM. So I'll introduce you to both the courses. Then I'll tell you about the common points between CFA and FRM. This is where the candidate generally gets confused, whether they should be going for CFA or FRM. This is because of these common points. And then comparison of CFA and FRM. This is almost 10-11 point comparison, and this will cover all the doubts that you have related to CFA versus FRM. And lastly, I'll help you to conclude. Before starting this video, let me give you a big disclaimer. See, ultimately, I'm not going to come out of this video and say, take FRM, this is good for you, take CFA, this is good for you. All I want to do in this video is give you a structure to think, right? So first of all, whenever you have to make any investment, you decide on two parameters: how much return you can get and what will be the risk faced. So return side of things is dealt by CFA and risk side of things is dealt by FRM, right? This is the basic foundation. Now let us move ahead and let me introduce you to FRM. FRM stands for Financial Risk Manager. It is offered by an institute called as GARP, Global Association of Risk Professional. This institute is based in USA. So any educational qualification that emerges from USA, it is generally perceived to have the highest quality possible. And FRM is no different. The GARP Institute makes sure that you get the best of risk management curriculum, right? In general, we deal with three things in our curriculum. One is statistics, applied statistics, one is analytics, and one is finance. We learn all three things so that we can do risk management. So application part is over here, and these are just the tools to do risk management, right? And in fact, if you want to pursue any course related to risk management, can you think of any bachelor's into risk management? No. Can you think of any master's into risk management? No, right? So if in case you want to learn about risk management, this is your go-to course, right? This is considered to be the gold standard into risk management. There is no better course, no popular course than FRM that is dealing with risk management. And the demand for FRM at the time of recording this video, that is at the end of 2022, it's really high. Like whenever there is any financial crisis globally, demand for FRM increases. 2007-8 happened, demand for FRM increased. 2020 COVID crisis happened, demand for FRM increased. Because we are risk managers. As soon as any crisis happens, then people start planning, okay, this crisis have happened because of our some mistakes. Let's try to avoid it in future. And who is the best person to tell us? FRMs, right? So that's like our profession thrives upon the financial disasters. If the probability of disaster increases or disaster occurs, then demand for FRM increases. To get FRM certification, you need to clear two exams, FRM Part 1 and FRM Part 2, and then get some relevant experience. Getting relevant experience is not a problem at all, because when you do this course, you will automatically start working into risk management domain. And if you start working there, getting 2 years of relevant experience is not a difficult job, right? Okay, now let me introduce you to CFA. CFA is offered by an institute called as CFA Institute. This course also emerges from USA. So whatever I said about the quality of FRM, the same is applicable over here. The education that you receive, the curriculum, everything is top notch. In fact, it is considered to be the best course if you want to get general knowledge about finance. If in case you study CFA, if you clear CFA, you can work into any domain within finance. In fact, CFA is essentially a course on portfolio management. But to learn portfolio management, what essentially is a portfolio? It is basically investments into bunch of assets, right? So you need to know about all the asset classes, whether it is equity, derivatives, maybe it is cryptocurrencies, maybe it is alternate investments, real estate, paintings, everything you need to learn about. So CFA is basically telling you about all the asset classes and nitty-gritties about them. And then how do you manage this? Level 1, level 2 deals about the asset classes and level 3 deals about portfolio management, right? To get your CFA, you have to clear 3 exams, level 1, level 2, level 3. And then you need some relevant work experience of 4 years. Getting relevant work experience is not a challenge at all, because once you clear level 1, level 2 or level 3, you start working in this industry, and automatically as you work, you will get automatically the relevant experience, right? This is basic introduction to CFA. Now let's talk about the common points that confuses the candidates. So first common point is both the courses deep dives into finance, right? And because both the courses are deep diving into finance, the candidates who are new to this domain, who just got exposure to the world of finance, they think that since both of them are telling about finance, they might be an alternate to each other. But that's not the case. CFA is dealing with the return side of things. FRM is dealing with the risk side of things, right? The approach to the way curriculum is designed is very different. You will see, like if you in case you have seen L1, L2 books or part 1, part 2 books, you'll notice the same topic is like given in a very different tone in FRM curriculum and in CFA curriculum. So this is the first reason, because both of them dives deep into finance, and candidates do not understand nitty-gritties about finance. They think that they are an alternate to each other, but that's not the case. Number 2, there are many job posts in which recruiters say we accept CFA or FRM. So there are many posts in which you can work as a CFA as well as an FRM. So this gives another reason to candidate that whether I go for CFA or I go for FRM, it's one and the same thing, but that's totally wrong. Then both of them are highly recognized. Like in India, we have 2 courses, Chartered Accountancy and Company Secretary, CA and CS. And CS is considered to be an inferior course in comparison to CA. But that's not the case over here. FRM is highly recognized, equally recognized to CFA, right? So both of them are highly recognized. Therefore, the candidates get confused. If I do FRM or if I do CFA, it's going to be one and the same thing, right? Then the last point, there is lots of overlap. So the curriculum overlaps, but the approach is different. The same topic will be dealt in a different way in FRM curriculum, and the same topic will be dealt in a different way in CFA curriculum. But the topic, the headings, the subtopics are going to be similar. Like we have quants in CFA L2 as well as FRM part 1. We have derivatives, fixed income in part 1, part 2 as well as FRM part 1. So there is lots of overlap. There is lots of sync also in the courses, but overall this confuses the candidate. They see the curriculum and they say, okay, we can study this topic over here as well as we can study this topic over FRM curriculum also. But that's not the case. They are really different courses. The stream, like the career line you will decide after doing FRM or CFA is going to be really different. Though you will be working within the umbrella of finance, but the career stream is going to be really different. Okay. Now let us move ahead and let me differentiate between CFA versus FRM between the common points. The first question candidate asked me is, do my background matter? Like I have done say some professional course like CA, like CS, like ICWA. Can I get into CFA or FRM? Answer is yes. Many candidates say I have done post graduation, maybe MBA, MCOM. Can they go for CFA FRM? Yes. A graduate, can they go for CFA FRM like BCom, BSc, BTech? Can you go for FRM? Yes. So irrespective of your background, CFA or FRM, you can choose any of the courses that suits you. Number 2, minimum qualification or eligibility. This is your background relevant? No. What's the minimum qualification? We have some minimum qualification, especially for CFA. FRM is a really welcoming course, so there is no minimum qualifications for FRM. But for CFA, yes. If you are a college going student, you cannot register in when you are in first year of your college. You cannot register when you are in second year of your college. You can register when you are in third year of your college for level 1. So in the third year, you can register for L1. Okay. Then to register for L2, you need to complete your graduation. So you register for L1 in your third year, you give L1 exams, and when you want to register for L2, essentially you should complete your graduation, right? For graduates, obviously, like if a college student can do it, you can also do it. For working professionals, yes. So like maybe you're a business owner or working professional, maybe from a very diverse background. Maybe you are a poet before. Now you want to do CFA. Can you do it? Yes. You need 4 years of full-time experience, right? So 4 years of business experience, 4 years of any other experience, but it should be full-time. Is internship counted as full-time? You know the answer, no. Is articleship, C articleship counted as full-time? No. You need to be paid in full. You need to do it on full-time basis. Okay. Now let us move ahead and let's talk about industry in which you will be working. You can read here industries, portfolio management, equity research, investment banking, advisory, hedge funds and PE firms. This is over here. The FRMs can also work in say equity research, investment banking, hedge funds, PE firms, but their roles will be different, right? Suppose an FRM working in hedge fund, the like he will be dealing with maybe risk management of that particular fund, but CFA might be involved in the research side of things, right? And three areas where FRM can work but CFAs generally do not is market risk, credit risk and banks. In banks, especially in Basel norm implementation, like FRM work but CFA generally do not work there, right? Then salary. So CFA versus FRM, there is lots of debate in market which one gives you higher salary, and the answer is it really depends upon case to case basis. But since you want a number, I'll give you that. Base salary after completing CFA level 1 or part 1, it will be in a very wide range. It really depends upon your background, right? If someone have done say MBA from tier 1 college, let's say I am, and if he completes CFA L1, he'll be getting very different package, let's say in comparison to a person who have done MBA from say tier 3 college of some city, right? So your background matters, but yes, I can give you a broad range. L1 or part 1 broadly will be between 4 lakh, 3.5 lakh to 9 lakh rupees after completing part 1, and I'm considering all the backgrounds possible over here. Then after completing part 2 of FRM or CFA level 2, your package will range between 8 to 15 lakhs, and for FRM part 2, 8 to 23 lakhs. I have made a one dedicated video in which we discuss industry wise salary. You can find the link for that video in description for FRM. And CFA L3, once you complete it, minimum we have seen the candidates earn around 10 lakh rupees, and after 1-2 years of experience they can earn around 25 lakh rupees. So this is not the salary that you will get from the day 1 or year 1. This is the salary which you earn in the initial year of your career. So first year, second year, third year, maybe you'll start around say 6-7 lakh rupees and you'll reach around 25 lakh rupees in 3-4 years, right? So this is about salary. Now let's move ahead and let's talk about the course structure, right? You have to study CFA and FRM. You can see here, though like both of them deals in finance, their curriculum is really different besides few overlap. So CFA in total, there are only 10 subjects. So 10 subjects in L1, 10 subjects in L2, and in L3 there are lesser subjects. You don't have quants, you don't have financial statement analysis, and you don't have corporate issuers. In a CFA L3, all the other subjects are there. The subject remains same, but the depth of subject increases, right? Now FRM, so there is like part 1, part 2, different subjects are there, and there is few overlap with CFA. That generally confuses candidates. Like you have quants over here, and there is also quantitative analysis over here. Then you have financial markets over here. So financial markets like fixed income, derivative. There is also subject of fixed income and derivative in CFA. So there is some overlap, but you can see over here other subjects are really different. Especially part 2, you deal with market risk management, credit risk management, operational risk management, liquidity and treasury risk, investment management, and the current issues. This last module, current issues, gets updated every other time. So like currently we have current issues like LIBOR, COVID crisis, cryptocurrencies, big data. It's dealt over here. But maybe 2 years down the line, some other topics will be there, right? Okay, so this is about the curriculum. Curriculum remains the same over here, or I should say subject remains the same over here. Depth increases, and here you move from the tools part to application part. So part 1 is just about tools, and part 2 is application of those tools. Okay, now let us move ahead and let's talk about exam frequency. So broadly you can see CFA L1, L2 and L3, As you go deeper in the lane, so from L1 there are 4 attempts in a year, for L2 there are 3 attempts in a year, and for L3 there are only 2 attempts in a year. Okay, so L1 exams Feb, May, August, November every year, L2 May, August and November, and L3 February and November every year. For FRM, the same pattern is repeated over here. FRM part 1 3 times in a year, May, August and December, and FRM part 2 2 times in a year, May and November. Okay, so FRM is quicker to do generally because there are only 2 levels and you can plan FRM in a very short span of time. Now let's talk about the fees. So fee structure currently, like when I'm recording this video, this can change if you watch this video later. You have 2 parts. The fees is divided in 2 parts. The first one is enrollment and the second one is exam fees. Enrollment fees, $350 for CFA and $400 for FRM. You have to pay this at the time of, this is basically registration fees. Then you need to pay exam fees. So if you register on time, so there is something called as early bird and standard. So if you register like few months before the exams, you have to pay $900 for L1, L2, L3 each again and again as many times you appear for exams. And for part 1, part 2 exams, $600 and $800, $600 for early bird and $800 if you register late. So 600, 600 again. So if I want to calculate the total cost of doing CFA, what's the fees that you have to pay to CFA Institute? So it will be $350 plus $900 for L1, $900 for L2, and $900 for L3. This will be $3050, or broadly you can say it will be $3000. For FRM part 1 and part 2, you have to pay $400 one-time fees, and assuming you register early, just like we assumed over here, $600 and $600, this will be $1600. Okay, so this is almost half. In percentage terms, yes, there is a 50% difference, but in absolute terms, so $3000 into 80, it will cost around 2,44,000 rupees, and this will be around 1,30,000 rupees. So in absolute terms, the difference is there, but it's not too much. Okay, in fact, it's nothing when you compare it to say MBA. Like in MBA, you have to pay at least 10 times fees than this. Now let us move ahead and let's talk about exam pattern. One good thing is there is no negative marking for CFA as well as FRM. And all the exams are computer based. So CFA level 1, level 2, level 3, FRM part 1 and part 2, all the exams are computer based, no negative marking. All the exams have like you have to tick the correct answer. So it is MCQ for L1, L2, part 1, part 2, and CFA level 3, there is MCQ plus you have to write couple of answers, that is known as essay type answers or constructive response. Okay, number of questions, you will see a pattern over here, 90 questions for L1, 88 questions for L2 and 44 questions for L3. So the number of questions decreases, but the quality, the depth of question increases, right? And then for the same pattern is followed over here. For FRM part 1, 100 questions, for FRM part 2, 80 questions. But the quality of question, the depth of question increases when I compare part 1, part 2, or when I compare L1, L2 and L3. Okay. Now let us move ahead and let's talk about minimum duration to complete the course. This is ideal duration, what an average candidates take. So from the date of registration, when you pay fee, till the time you complete your L3 exams, assuming you complete it in one go, you'll take 2 years ideally to complete CFA, right? Can you do it in lesser amount of time? Yes, but generally 2 years is considered to be the ideal time for completing CFA. And for FRM, it is around 1.5 years. Okay, this is all the levels and this is also all the levels. Now pass percentage, I have not specifically written here over here what is pass percentage for L1, L2, L3 and what is pass percentage for part 1, part 2. But broadly the trend is level 1 pass percentage is the least, L2 increases a bit and L3 increases even more. And the same thing over here, part 1 pass percentage is lesser and part 2 pass percentage is on higher side. But if I calculate average, it will be around 50% for FRM and 45% for CFA. So CFA pass percentage is slightly lower in comparison to FRM, but 45% is really great, right? So almost like every other student, every second student is getting passed. Now level of difficulty, This is one question generally the lazy students ask. Sir, which one is more difficult? Whichever is the easy, I'll go for that. But that's not the approach. Because of the vastness of syllabus and one extra level, CFA I'm saying is on the difficult side. Okay, so it's like 8 on 10 kind of difficulty because of vastness of syllabus. As such, there is like barring few topics, there is nothing in the entire syllabus that you need to put lots of like brains or neurons to think. So if in case you listen to me, or maybe for any other faculty for that matter, you will be able to absorb or understand everything in one go. It's just that how you retain it. And then like CFA in comparison, like FRM syllabus in comparison to CFA, it is relatively small. So like you have 3 levels and many books over here. It is relatively small in comparison to CFA. But in absolute terms, this is also vast. Okay. So difficulty level is 7 on 10 because of one less level and slightly smaller syllabus. Okay. With that being said, let's conclude the video. Now, basically, I'll give you a structure to think how you should decide basis on the points we have discussed, which one should you go for. See, time is not an issue. Both of them take approximately 2 years to complete. Fees is also not an issue. Both of them have similar fees. The main issue over here is where your interests lie. In case you clearly understand, I need to go towards investment management side of things, then you should be going with CFA. In case you are not very sure whether you should be going for investment management or risk management, then I'll say just defer your decision. Just explore the curriculum. Just maybe watch couple of lectures on YouTube, right? And just be sure before paying any fees to anyone, just you research at your end and then decide, right? Just give yourself some time. Defer it by maybe 2 months because this is going to be your career. You cannot and you should not rush into taking decision. If you are really clear, like I can give you one example or one exercise to do, or just think about it. Suppose you are managing a derivative position. If you prefer firefighting, the position got against you and you can firefight and cut down the losses, then you are dealing with the risk management side of things and you love doing that. But in case you want to research which position to take, which will give me higher profits, then you are inclined towards investment management side of things, right? This is just an illustration to give you a way to think. Ultimately, you have to take decision. In case after watching this video, after watching couple of other videos, researching, in case you are not clear which course to go for, then I highly request you to ping us in the comment below and we'll reach back to you. We have policy of 100% doubt resolution. So please ping back in case you're not able to decide which course to go for. And if in case you can decide, welcome to the world of finance. Thank you.